Welcome back, friends. Mark Piotr here. I've been playing this alto saxophone for a very long time. I am the second proud owner of this 1974 Selmer Mark VI alto saxophone. I happened to buy it from the first owner, who was in a professional marching band, and he scratched it up plenty for about 5 or 6 years until he got out of the band and sold the instrument to me. And I am happy to have it ever since. So today I want to review and compare my Selmer to a different alto saxophone. This beautiful alto saxophone is on loan from one of my generous students. This is the Eastman 52nd Street unlacquered. Some of the things that I'm looking for if I am shopping to buy a saxophone, that all the keys feel approximately the same tension as I press them down. I don't want any one of the keys to really stand out like a contrast of, oh, that's hard to touch, that's hard to push, that one's real easy. That bothers me a lot when I'm playing. So I want them to be reasonably the same. I like the side keys here. Again, they seem free and fast. The whole instrument feels fast, and it's pretty new. I think this instrument is just over a year and a half old, so it still feels like it's regulated and it's closing very well. It's just, yeah, you can tell without even playing a note that the pads are sealing pretty well. Some of the octave keys differ from model to model and brand to brand. This particular one, I kind of like that scalloped slant here on the octave key. However, it's raised up too high, in my opinion. So this is something that can be adjusted by a repairman, and if it were mine, I would have this thing lowered slightly. Another thing that I have had altered on my Mark VI is the D natural palm key. Now, normally the D natural palm key for me is too far away from my hand. Let me show you what I did to the Selmer Mark VI. You're gonna freak out because this was an alteration that I paid a man to do it to my specifications. Notice how my D natural palm key is actually upside down. Yeah, isn't that wild? So normally all three of them would be tearing down like this, but this one is backwards. It's pointing up. Okay, so that was one of the modifications that I made to this instrument to make it my own special model for my hands. As long as we're on the topic of modifications, I also had these little risers put in the right hand side keys. Can you see how there's a line and then there's a thicker line above it? Well, that thin line was the original Selmer factory model. The thick line above it, those are brass metal inserts that I had somebody weld on there for me. Oh, very professional feel and fit on the receiver up on top here. A little bit of resistance, but it's not difficult. Okay, so right now I'm just getting used to where the keys are located and how they differ from my Mark VI. Again, the main thing is that these side keys are further away from my hand than what I'm accustomed to. Likewise, the high D is further away from my hand than what I'm accustomed to. And now let's just get a quick comparison to my Mark VI alto sax. Okay, so the main thing that's running through my head is that the tone on this instrument changes slightly as I play louder. And that's one of the main things I love about this horn. As I play louder, I get a little bit of that, and when I get softer, then it gets a little bit more mellow. I also, maybe it's because I'm more used to this horn, but I gotta tell you, I feel like I can express my volume louder and softer slightly more on this horn. This is an unlacquered horn, and that makes a big difference. I remember playing, just for a trial, an unlacquered cannonball instrument. And the thing that I remember most about that instrument was that as I increase the volume level, the timbre of the tone does not change hardly at all. As you get softer or louder, the quality, the tone of the instrument stays pretty much the same. And I think that's what people love about the unlacquered horn. It's subtle. Maybe you can't tell with this, with the microphone and the compression that's going on. It's a subtle difference, but I do prefer this one. Okay, I got my tuner out because now we're going to discuss intonation. Intonation is the instrument's ability to keep in tune with itself. Now, every instrument is going to have its own little places where it's a little quirky, but the tuning is largely the fault of the musician. The musician is able to bend and change the notes at will. All right, so let me just go through several notes and let's see what comes up. Two of the biggest problems with all saxophones are the next higher D, that's the fourth line D on the staff, and the C sharp directly below it. The D is notorious for being sharp, and the C sharp is notorious for being flat. So let's take a look at the D first. And the C sharp. But I have to confess, because I've been playing this instrument so long, that's how I get those two notes to be really close to being in tune. It's because I've learned to adjust over the years. If I didn't adjust my D, it'd come out more like this. Yeah, see, it's a good 20% sharp. All right. Let's continue with a few more notes on the Selmer Mark VI. That's another problem note on all the alto saxes, is that your high C sharp is really sharp. Okay, so without adjusting it very much, you see where some of the problem areas are with this Mark VI and with me as a player. Now let's go ahead and try to do the same thing on the Eastman. Now let's do the D and the C sharp. The intonation problems that I would need to relearn and overcome on this instrument are different when compared to my Mark VI. So to review, what am I looking for when I'm thinking about buying an instrument? Number one, I'm looking for the sound. Is it a sound that I enjoy listening to? Number two, I'm looking for comfort in the hands. Does it feel comfortable? Do I like the spring tension? Is it even enough for me across? And the ergonomics of reaching and touching the keys and how easy they are to locate, those kind of things. Number three, I'm looking for volume level. I want to know that I can express myself really quiet and really loud, and that I enjoy the difference between the two as I get louder or as I get softer. Number four, I'm looking for intonation. So that's probably the hardest thing to overcome, and it's going to differ from model to model and brand to brand. And then number five, I'm looking for the aesthetic look of it. Do I enjoy the colors, that kind of thing. And then number six, the price. Now, they don't even make the model Mark VI anymore. The last time I checked, the top of the line alto sax for Selmer was $9,000. And this top of the line Eastman is roughly $5,000. Let's just say it's about half the price of the Selmer top of the line product. So I hope that this video was useful for you and fun, and I'll see you next time. Bye now.